Derbyites, here we are to talk about comedy supporting actress, and man, this one is a tough one. My heart's telling me one thing, my head's telling me the other thing. I don't know which way to go. I think I'm just going to land on one particular contender and just hope for the best, but I'm thinking that maybe I'm making a mistake. It's just one of those. It's a bit of a nightmare. Let's go through the nominees, and then we'll start talking about who we think will win. So Mayim Bialik, Big Bang Theory, submitted The Indecision Amalgamation. Julie Bowen from Modern Family submitted The Feud. Anna Chlumsky from Veep submitted Detroit. Allison Janney from Mom submitted Estrogen and a Hearty Breakfast. Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live submitted the episode hosted by Anna Kendrick. And Kate Mulgrew from Orange is the New Black submitted Hit Punch. So this is my ranking, and then we'll go down the line. I've got Mulgrew in first, Janney in second, Bowen in third, Chlumsky in fourth, McKinnon in fifth, Bialik in sixth. I'm going to go straight to you first, Marcus. Give us your rankings.
Well, my order in the bottom tends to change a lot, but I mean, I think the top two are pretty. It's pretty consensus, wide. Everyone kind of agrees. But my first one is Allison Janney from Mom. Second one is Kate Mulgrew. And then I have Julie Bowen, Anna Chlumsky, Mayim Bialik, and Kate McKinnon.
Okay. So, all right. Ralph, what are your six?
My top two just switched like an hour ago. I think I sent you guys a list. I now have Kate Mulgrew as number one. I have Allison Janney in second. And then I have a gap, and I've got Anna Chlumsky in third, Julie Bowen in fourth, and then a huge gap, and Mayim Bialik in fifth, and Kate McKinnon in sixth.
Okay, Charlie?
I also have Mulgrew in the number one spot, then Janney in number two, Julie Bowen third, Anna Chlumsky fourth, Mayim Bialik fifth, and Kate McKinnon sixth. Okay, so I want to leave the top two towards the end of this chat because I think we have a lot to talk about. So let's just break through some of these other contenders. Let's talk about McKinnon. First of all, I think McKinnon is one of the best things about Saturday Night Live. Love it or hate it, she is such a great find for this show, and whenever she's on screen, she generally elevates the material. I think she's awesome. But I got to say, I kept checking my emails and just making sure that I was watching the right episode. I'm not 100% sure why she picked this one. I can't remember whether she had a better one, because I just remember her generally over the season and how good she is generally in all the skits that she does. But the cold open didn't work for me, and then she gets to play Angela Merkel in Weekend Update, and that's really funny. She's great at that. And then that's pretty much it. And so I have her in fifth, and I just can't imagine in what universe she will be the one to break this curse against SNL players in the supporting categories. So, Marcus, you also have her in sixth. What's your view on Kate McKinnon?
It's everything you just said. I love this woman. She's the funniest person on the show, male or female, currently. And I was actually predicting her to get nominated last year, not this year. But I don't know if she had a better episode. I'm not aware of that because I do watch the show, but then I usually just forget about it the next day. It's just one of those shows that I just do that for. But she's really great in the scenes that she's in. And when she's not there, she's not there. I mean, it's a problem with Saturday Night Live that they've always had with the supporting players, and it just really seems to affect her this year. There's not even a big impact scene like Bill Hader had last year with the puppets. Everyone was talking about his puppet scene. There's not even anything like that for her. It's just two funny scenes, and then she's out.
Yeah. Ralph?
This one was an easy sixth place for me. I don't find the show at all funny. I thought she was passable, and I guess if she's the best thing that is on SNL, then maybe SNL has a bit of a problem. I mean, she's fine, but I just don't. There was really nothing in there that I thought was that amazing in terms of like when you look back at like Kristen Wiig's nomination, you know, a couple years ago. I mean, that I could have seen a potential upset. But this episode, for what you said, Rob, it's like, and even what Marcus just said, it's just not really, you don't remember it the next day. There's nothing, you know, that you go back and you laugh at the next day. And I just don't think that there's really too much, you know, to it. So, average 6.
Charlie?
Well, I'd like to rebound from the criticisms that Ralph had. I actually haven't watched any other Saturday Night Live this season, but I will say kudos to her for getting nominated. You know, it's a very tough thing and a very big ensemble cast, and so kudos to her for getting nominated. I think the real problem, other than screen time, of course, is just the nature of how people are watching this. They're seeing an entire episode from cold open, including musical performances, and there were definitely long stretches where she's not in it. And if others couldn't do it, you know, with more screen time, I don't see how she can do it with less.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, a host can maybe win, and we've seen that happen before because they're in it a lot. And Anna Kendrick, by the way, she's great in this one. But McKinnon, no, it's not going to happen. But even worse for me, and an even bigger surprise for me, was Mayim Bialik, because I really like her character. I think she's hilarious on The Big Bang Theory, and that is not my favorite show of all time, but, you know, it does make me chuckle from time to time. And she literally has one scene that I can remember where she does anything apart from the end scene, perhaps, maybe. But look, I just don't understand why this was submitted for her. I really don't. And I think she deserved better. And I have her in 6. I just kind of imagining what universe she's ever going to win this one. Marcus, what did you think about Mayim Bialik? Because you have her in 5th.
Yeah, I thought she did okay in this one. I'm not a regular watcher of the show. Why doesn't this show ever give its supporting players like the whole episode to kind of shine? Because I feel like that would be a really, really good way for them to win more Emmys. Because I mean, Jim Parsons wins almost every year, but the show really doesn't win anything else. But her 2 scenes that were really, really stand out for me were the one on the date in the apartment where she's like going way over the top on the questions to ask Sheldon about either PlayStation versus Xbox. That was really funny. And then at the end when she's like with him, consoling him in the store, flipping a coin. It's so ridiculous. It is so over the top. But I think this is the kind of thing that Emmy voters would go for. In a less competitive year, she could maybe win for this. I mean, Merritt Wever won last year for having less screen time. But this year, it's too tough for her.
Yeah. Charlie, let's go to you next because you have her in 5th as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, I love that scene. The date scene at the dinner table when she's going all over the top, going, really? It's only like that? You know, I just thought that was really funny. But other than that, there wasn't anything that just and they do give her great material. It's just it's not this episode. It doesn't shine through, and in such a tight year, it would be very hard for her to pull this one off.
Yeah. Ralph, can you make a case for Bialik at all?
No, I can't. I'm with you though. I really like Amy Farrah Fowler. I think she's funny. I love watching her episodes. You know, especially when she gets a chance to shine. I mean, she did have one other episode where her and Sheldon had that first kiss. And everybody was saying that would have been a better submission, which I agree with because it would obviously have more impact. But other than the pass the butter scene, I don't really know. She was such a kind of an ornament in the entire thing. I mean, she accompanied Sheldon to buy, you know, his Xbox or PlayStation unit, whichever one. And I always just kind of felt, even during that pass the butter scene, that there was something waiting. Like I thought the whole time that Amy was about to explode at some point, or she had something bubbling in there where she was about to, you know, reveal to Sheldon or something, but it just, nothing ever came of it. And when it was the end, I was like, that's it? That's what we're left with? And so I was kind of bummed at that. But yeah, I don't even think in a week here that something like this would win. I think it's just, you know, she had other options, and she was just in Chris Beecham's interview with her. She mentioned that she doesn't select her tape. Jim Parsons and a few other folks give her input on what to submit, and I think she had some bad input this year.
Yeah, I think that's totally the case. Let's move on to Anna Chlumsky. We all have her in fourth, except Ralph, you have her in third. The problem with Anna Chlumsky, again, that's another character I really like, and obviously I really love Veep. I've said that many times before. The problem with her is that she's very reactive. She's there really as the, she's on the side to Selina Meyer, who is in the spotlight. She usually has, she's usually kind of like this with her phone, and she has a few snippy remarks, and that's generally how her character is portrayed. And there's something about her that I really love watching, and obviously voters agree. This episode, Detroit, gives her quite a bit of screen time, but you'll notice a lot of it is in the background, and that's why I have her in fourth. She could win if she's riding on the coattails of Veep, and people love the show a lot and they want to vote for her. But generally, I think that she's probably going to struggle against the top two here, and that's the problem. So, Marcus, what did you think of Anna Chlumsky?
I'm a huge Veep fan. This is one of my least favorite episodes of Veep, actually. It was very forgettable, the whole episode. Her performance in it was kind of. I know you said she was in it a lot, but I don't feel like she didn't speak a lot. So whenever she did speak, you're like, oh, there's Anna Chlumsky, and this is her episode. I guess it's good that she's in this scene, but it was kind of a forgettable, no impact. A lot of the same, monotone scenes for her. This show is such a vehicle for Julia Louis-Dreyfus that it's tough for the supporting cast to get recognized. I mean, it's amazing she got in last year and this year. That's awesome for her. Tony Hill won last year, so it's awesome for him. So it's starting to happen where the supporting cast is getting more and more recognized, but just I don't think it's going to happen for her this year.
Yeah. Charlie?
Pretty much the same. I do like, there is a great bit at the end when she has Christopher Maloney give her that tension-releasing massage, and we kind of see Amy's very stern facade crack a little bit when he hits that spot just right. And it's a really funny scene, and I do love her in this, but the material there is just not strong enough.
Yeah, and Ralph, you have her in third. Is there a reason why you have her slightly above Julie Bowen?
Yeah, actually, I'm not as huge a Veep fan as you guys are. Some of you are. I do like the show. She's my favorite character by far. Even with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Selina in there, Amy's my favorite character. I thought when I heard so much about how she should have submitted a special relationship, was so much better, she would have been in the running. And I went and I watched Detroit again. I thought she was really funny. I thought she had some great one-liners in there, and I thought there were some moments, especially when she, when they were asking her about how bummed she was to not, be Selina's, side person running her campaign manager. And she was saying, oh, it doesn't matter because Selina and I are really great friends. And then Selina pulls her aside later on to reveal her. Her fling with the instructor, or her, oh God, I can't even think right now. With what's his name, Chris Maloney.
Yeah.
And I just thought she had some really great moments there, and I thought, her one-liners coupled with that. Nobody, I think we all agree, is going to top the top two that we have, but I think she's in the mix. Her and Julie Bowen are like 3 and 4 interchangeable, at least in my opinion, and I think I laughed more with Anna Chlumsky than I did Julie Bowen.
Okay, well, let's move on then to Julie Bowen. I have her in third, and I expected more from her episode. I wasn't a regular watcher of Modern Family this past season. I watched a few, and this one I hadn't seen until I watched these episodes, and I was expecting a bit more from her. But she is Julie Bowen, and she's won 2 before, and I pretty much recall the second one she won. I wasn't expecting her to win then, and so I always keep her towards the top of the list. And so I call these the other 4, like the also-ran, so to speak. I think she's in front of all of them. So that's the only reason why I have her in third. Marcus, what did you think of Julie Bowen? Because you've also got her in third.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she has a little bit more of a physical comedy aspect this time with the the whole lice thing, and she's getting up next to the guy, and of course she doesn't know she has lice, but we do, so we're kind of laughing at her. And I did like this episode. I'm a huge Modern Family fan, but even though it was a good episode, uh, didn't last year she submitted the ice skating or the roller skating one, right?
Yeah.
And if she couldn't win for that, that was a lot better because I had the scene in the bar where she's like multitasking, doing all those things. If she couldn't win for that, this is a less better, a less good episode, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think she could win for this.
And Ralph, you touched on this just before when you were talking about Chlumsky, but is there anything about Julie Bowen's performance that you think could maybe get her above the top two?
I mean, she is she is not Bully Joe, and her name is Julie Bowen. She's a two-time winner, and she's funny in the episode. Her hair is really the funniest part of the whole episode, especially that very last scene where they're all trapped in the basement, and she walks down, and her hair is just completely a mess, and she screams, and they all scream. It's great. But I think, usually she'll have an episode where she actually has some sort of an arc. In this one, all it was Julie Bowen had lice. That's pretty much what I'm sure the script said. You have lice in this episode. It doesn't, you have really anything else important to do. It's you have lice, good luck, scratch your head, and, make us laugh. And so I think that she played it off well, as great as you could, but I don't think that, there was too much in there where people would be like, that was exceptional, especially compared to our top two.
Yeah, and although it may sound like that you are dismissing her easily, Ralph, you actually have a really good point. And if this was her best submission from the season, I'm slightly worried, and perhaps maybe the writers need to give her something a bit meatier next time, rather than just a unfortunate follicular problem. But anyway, let's talk about the top two, because I think this category is really about these two, and if we are proven wrong and it's one of the other four, then so be it. It's going to be a Merritt Wever type situation, but Merritt Wever didn't have two very strong front runners to contend with, I think, like we have this year. So let's talk about Allison Janney first. I'm going to go straight to you, Marcus, because you out of the four of us, you have her in first, although I'm pretty sure us three have it really close, but you have her in first right now. Why?
It's such an easy first place, too. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. She's Allison Janney. She won 4 of these for The West Wing. She's nominated twice this year. She is an Emmy goddess, and she's so elegant in real life. And on the show, she's playing the polar opposite. That's what we call acting. She is acting in this show, and she's doing a really, really funny job of it. When she won this category a year ago when they announced she was joining a Chuck Lorre show. Let's be honest. This category is done and over with.
Wow. Okay, you are certain. Charlie, you have her in second, but you obviously really enjoyed the performance too. Why do you think she could easily win this one?
There's a good range for her, and especially if the people who are voting on this are only familiar with her work on The West Wing, or maybe Masters of Sex, they're going to be very surprised by how completely funny she is at delivering everything in this episode. And she's great. She shows all this range by showing all these different sides of menopause as she's hitting it. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, that's the bottom line here. Ralph, what do you think? You have her in second too, but I'm sure you think that she's certainly a threat here.
Oh, I had her in first just until today, until Marcus declared her a lock. Then I switched to Mulgrew.
It's the Dixon curse. Yeah.
No, I've had her in first the whole time, and along with Marcus, the same thing. Since it was announced she was going to be on a Chuck Lorre show on CBS, I was like, "There's no way Allison Janney is not going to win this." When I first watched the episode, not even this time, but when it first aired, because I watch Mom regularly, I thought there's nobody that's going to beat this woman. And she's great. it really mirrors the same type of Emmy-winning submission that Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls submitted to win her lead actress Emmy, which is where she thought she was pregnant. She ends up not being pregnant. She's actually just going through menopause, and then she has these complete breakdowns of, how old I'm getting, I'm worthless, no guy would want me, all this stuff. And just as funny as it was then, Allison Janney just knocks it out of the park this time. She goes through all these different phases that we see. I thought her, homemaker mom phase in the middle was just great, and her singing at the door. I mean, she had so much to do that, I'm tempted to move her back up, but I just don't see. The only thing is Mulgrew is really campaigning for this Emmy. She is everywhere, and Allison Janney is not. And even though Allison Janney is an Emmy darling, this is Kate Mulgrew's first nomination in 40 years, and she's making sure everybody in this town knows that that's what's happened. And so that's why I just switched. Maybe I'll switch back. I don't know. That's why I have Mulgrew against her right now. I don't know.
It'll go back and forth for the rest of the season. I've got to say, my view of Allison Janney is this. I'm an avid watcher of the show. If there was like a laugh-o-meter or something to record the amount of laughs, she would win in a landslide. She is just so damn funny on this show, and this is her episode. When it aired, I remember we all wrote to each other and said, this is it, that's her episode, she's going to win. And I've seen it now 4 times, and every time she gets me. She is sassy, she's sexy, she's funny, vivacious, she delivers the laughs, she's brilliant at just her acting. Everything about this is just 100%, and I really should be putting her in first. It makes sense. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm pretty damn sure our buddy Chris Beecham has her in first as well. And that you got to take notice of that, because Chris knows his stuff.
She sings in the episode, and she dyes her hair. She has a physical transformation.
There you go.
The only thing that I'm hesitant about, I think this was Mom's one and only nomination.
Correct.
Yes.
So there's really no support for the show at all. She maybe even got in on name recognition. They're probably not even watching the show, but if they do watch the episodes of what they're supposed to be doing, she's going to win. So we move to Mulgrew now?
You just think it's just over and done with.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Okay, look. Okay, you want to move to Mulgrew. Okay. This is the reason why I have her in first, and Ralph touched on it, and it's because, she is an amazing actress. She's been around for a very long time. She has brought some very important culturally iconic characters to the screen, such as Captain Janeway. And this character, Red, I think is the breakout character from the show. I really do. And I think if Orange is the New Black is going to win anything on Emmy night, apart from perhaps maybe Uzo Aduba at the Creative Arts Emmys, I think it'll be Kate Mulgrew. I really do. And maybe they may not win anything else. So that's that. And then there's also the episode itself. Tit Punch is just dynamite. And it's an acting performance. There is funny moments. Okay, she's not as funny as Allison Janney, but there's funny moments. And, I keep thinking about her reactions in the flashbacks, her heartbreak at being bullied or left out. And then you see then how she is in jail and how she's really taken control of her life, and she'll never let anybody leave her out or bully her again. Very powerful stuff. I was so impressed by her. She really is, to me, the deserving winner here. And maybe it's a bit of wishful thinking on my part, I'll admit that, but I have her in first for that reason. Okay, I'm going to go to you first, Marcus, because you are so sure that it's Janney's award. But can you at least entertain the idea that maybe Mulgrew could threaten her for the win?
Yes, Kate Mulgrew is going to win. It's a lock. There's no other competitor here. It's Kate Mulgrew's to win. And then we're going to edit one of those out when the one wins. But no, she's really great. She has an hour-long episode, which is longer than everyone's except for Kate McKinnon's. But she has the flashbacks and the current storyline, so you see her in 2 different scenarios. She is the funniest character on the show, right? Maybe top 3. I mean, most of these characters are really, really dramatic because it's in a prison. But her character is funny. She's the one that you laugh at every week. But actually, the things I see hurting her are the things you mentioned that could help her, and that's when she cries, when she's dramatic. I don't think that's going to help her in a comedy race.
Okay. Yeah, there's a school of thought here that says you can't win comedy for a dramatic performance. And I don't really subscribe to that. I haven't really given it too much thought this morning, but if we did some research, we could probably test that theory. But I'll go to you first, Charlie. Mulgrew, you have her in first now. Do you think that... give us your arguments.
The performance is just... It's the best performance of the bunch in this group. I mean, just... and being able to see her, from the past and in the present, and how it really you really just see how she has molded this character into a very defined performance. And remember, this was the second episode of the show, so she was able to do this and have a command of it from the get-go. And I mean, man, does she! And she does have funny parts to her performance, especially with how the episode got its name, Tit Punch. That moment is priceless, and I can't see anybody not laughing during that. And we've had people who have won with more like dramedy type shows, but who definitely keep those elements in their episode. Tony Shalhoub, every time he won, there were good funny scenes in his episodes. So I can easily see Kate winning this, especially in a supporting category.
And Ralph, you've already told us that you know that Kate's really campaigning for this, but give us more as to why you have just recently switched her to number one.
Yeah, somebody in our message board under the supporting actress thread, which you should all go to, has pointed this out, and I thought it was really good. His name's he or her name's Tucker. That just a few years ago, or I suppose maybe more than a few, but Cynthia Nixon won supporting actress in a comedy. And she wasn't laugh out loud funny. She had her character in Sex and the City was not the funny one. Hers was a more dramatic one, the more cynical one. And she won with a great, just because she was like Charlie said, she was the better actress of her field, with in a great episode. Deborah Messing won lead comedy actress, where she sent in what people thought was a dramatic tape. I mean, she has an argument with Will in the living room at the very end, and that won her an Emmy. Here, Kate Mulgrew not only can overcome that, but again, she's been out there campaigning for this. She's been on every talk show you could think of. She also, Orange is the New Black people are still talking about it right now. People are still watching season 2 as they're voting, as things are going on. So that can't hurt her. I mean, it helped Breaking Bad last year when the final actual season of Breaking Bad was on, and Breaking Bad, voting was on for a drama series. I mean, she's got that to her credit right now, and also like Charlie said, there are actually funny moments in there, and she does have the transformation. Marcus wants to argue that Janney has it. Kate Mulgrew is not. She doesn't naturally have red hair. She's not naturally Russian. She actually transforms herself to become this character. So it's acting at its finest, and I think that's what, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of feel that this is probably hers more than Janney's at this point, just for, the sheer awesomeness of what she's got going for her right now.
Yeah, and I mean, the voters obviously love the show more than they liked Mom as well, and we've already talked about that, but that's a factor. It has to be a factor. Sure. But if going on episodes alone, I do understand where Marcus is coming from, and that Janney episode is gold. And this one's going to be really difficult, and if we see Allison Janney up on stage, there'll be no surprise, and I'm sure we'll all be fine with that. But I would really hope, and of all the nominations this year, now let's move into what we hope for. Of all the nominations in all the categories this year, this is the one category that I'll be watching the closest. I want to see Kate Mulgrew on that stage. I want to see her win an Emmy. She deserves some recognition for her many decades of work, and for bringing this character to life. I just think she is outstanding on Orange is the New Black, and I would give her my vote in a heartbeat. What about you guys? Charlie, dream Emmy ballot, who would you vote for?
Kate Mulgrew is definitely towards the top of that list, and Anna Chlumsky as well. One person who I wish had been nominated for the criminally underrepresented Brooklyn Nine-Nine is, I think her name is Chelsea Peretti. Yes, her. She is wonderful on that show. She was the standout to me, and I would gladly go door knocking and make phone calls if that was necessary. Well, it probably would be since they didn't nominate her.
So political. Marcus, what's your dream Emmy ballot?
Chelsea Peretti's a really good one. I really like Eden's share in the middle, but my personal pick for the whole year is Kaitlin Olson. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She is the funniest woman currently on television. Now that Tina Fey is not on TV, it's Kaitlin Olson.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. And Ralph.
I also have to give a shout out to Eden Share. I think she's great. I think she should have an Emmy by now from the first seasons of the middle. But I'd probably go with Sarah Hyland from Modern Family. I think the way she's grown her character, that could have just been the dumb girl that we come to for a one-liner every now and then. The way she's actually given it so much heart, and especially this season in the wedding episode, the dual episodes where she's got the guy who's getting his heart broken by a girlfriend that's far away. I mean, the way she kind of handled that whole thing and made you think that a girl like her would just kind of flush it away and kind of gave everything heart and brought the story along and made it believable. I thought was great, and I think she deserves credit for that. And I don't think her and Nolan Gould and everybody else, all the other kids in that show, deserve credit as well.
Yeah, what is up with that? Why won't they nominate some of those kids from that show? It's just ridiculous. And I agree, totally underrated. Sarah Hyland, she's fantastic.
Yeah, Sofia Vergara got, 4 nominations?
Yeah, something like that.
0. We should also mention that since Sophia's not nominated this year, then the voters don't get 2 Julie Bowen episodes. So that could also hurt Julie Bowen's chances.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, Sophia's episode played a huge part in her first win in 2011.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, look, it looks like it's going to be those 2, and if anyone else wins in this category, it will be one of the surprises of the night. So let's see what happens. Thank you very much for your input. Everybody, go and change your predictions if you want to, and make sure you vote in the Dream Emmy ballot as well, and we'll be back soon with more Slugfest to come.